Let me go ahead. And today I added another camera. So yesterday I was back and forth between those cameras, but when I watched the recording, it didn't actually show our second camera. So today you're gonna see me toggling between the camera where you can see me and then the camera where you're gonna see what we're doing. And that way, if you watch this later, you'll be able to see that.
Question, why do we need to record?
I'm recording because we have some people who aren't able to be here, and if they aren't able to be here, then they'll be able to watch that video later.
Hi Molly.
If you guys decide, you know what, I can't remember exactly how we did that, you can go back and you can watch that video again.
My dog wants to say hi. Hold on.
Hi. Okay, so let's go over a couple of safety rules first. So remember, in your kits, you should have had goggles. Mrs. Martin always wears her goggles because I wear glasses, but you should be wearing your goggles. So let me see everyone's goggles. Today we will be using liquids, so it's important that we are protecting our eyes in case of any splashes. We're gonna pull out those goggles on. Now you're looking like scientists. Nice, good job. Hey, Brandon, Brendan, tell me who's who. Which, put on your mute, unmute yourself.
That's Brian right there, and I'm Brendan.
All right, who's older?
Me.
Brendan.
Brendan. Brendan.
Yeah, I set up their names so they're sitting behind their name.
Ah, perfect. Thank you so much.
To help. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And then most of the others I know because they've been in my class, so they've been students. So, all right, so always make sure that you are wearing your safety glasses. We also want to make sure that we are carefully listening and following directions. You
don't see any goggles.
We don't see any goggles. They should be in the container that has all of your test tubes. There's 3 tubes with oil.
Got it.
Nice, good job. Yep, that one, perfect. Okay, so let's open up and we're gonna make sure we all have the materials that we need. And also remember, yesterday we talked about if we have littles at home, younger brothers and sisters, or if we have animals at home, we need to make sure that all of our materials are always accounted for so that nobody accidentally ingests or chews something up. For me, just yesterday, I went for another walk, and again, my dogs chewed everything up. So it happens. We got to make sure that we put it all away. All right, and always be responsible and clean up after yourself. So today we're going to be using some liquids, and there will be spills. That's part of the fun. It's okay. Just make sure afterwards that you clean it up. Okay? At the very end, I have a few things to show you if we have time. If we don't have time, I'll save it for another one. And I also will be creating some short little video clips that I'll share with you guys that you guys can watch later. Let me shut off my mail so we're not getting those annoying messages. And I'm going to switch cameras so that you can see the materials. So in your bag, you should have had 3 test tubes that have oil in them. Can you hold those up and show me? 3 test tubes with oil. And I did notice in some of the bags that the oil might have leaked a little bit. This happens. Are you signaling me, Chloe? Okay, I see 3 test tubes. Evan and Tyler, do you have your 3 test tubes? You can pull out your 3 test tubes with oil. And then you should also have 3 empty test tubes. There should be 3 test tubes with oil and 3 empty test tubes.
I don't think we have any test tubes with oil.
There's 2 different kits. So if you're pulling one out that just has 3 test tubes, you're in the wrong kit. You want the kit that will look like this. should also have a rack. Your rack comes with 2 blue and 2 yellow. So show me the rack.
Miss Martin, I have all those things in the bag, but I don't have that piece of paper.
I know, I'm going to email you the paper. Don't worry about the paper. Hold up your racks. Good job. We're going to put our racks together. So you're going to go ahead and open those and pull that stuff out. We've got Brian joining us.
Hey, Brian.
Brian. All right, if you've opened up your rack, you have big holes and small holes. Which one do you think is going to be at the top?
Big hole.
The big holes is going to be for your test tube. So in you see there are these little slots that are on my rack. It doesn't matter whether you put it this way or you put it this way. You're going to slide these. See how those have also used? You're going to slide those together on both ends. And do the same at the bottom. You kind of give a little pressure, it should click into place. Oops. Yeah, if you did it like mine, look, I did one stripe on the other. So it's not quite level, so I'm going to pick it apart and just turn this over so that I have them equal. Good morning, Brian. Can you turn your camera on?
Miss Martin, the other side of mine is broken.
Oh, no. Okay, see if you can get it to work, and I will send you a replacement.
Got it to work.
Cool. So when moms come by today, or if I'm going by your place, we can do a switch out. Okay, go ahead and take your 3 tubes that have oil in them and place those to your rack. And then go ahead and place your 3 empty ones.
How do you make this? Oh, it's basically like this. So, yeah. No, like this. See, there's a cut in and there's a cut in. You attach these. Oh, like that.
Nice.
It's
It's beginning to look like a ladder, right?
Just do the same thing. And then you can put your test tubes in.
I'm going to put those to the side. You should have also had fizzy tabs. Now mine comes in a plastic bag or a silver bag. Yours is not in a silver bag. Yours is in a plastic bag. You should have 2 that have 12 tabs in each. And there's 3 different colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got that.
All right.
And then you should also have a measuring cup. You should have some Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, we each get to go. Then you should also have this, I think.
Yep. Great. Okay, so if you are a water source, perfect. If you're not, it might be good for you to get a little pitcher and fill it up with water.
Yeah, I can do that, but I keep.
So we're gonna fill each of these empty tubes. We're gonna fill them with some water.
Fill the empty test tubes with water, basically.
Water.
We just have to fill these empty test tubes with water.
You can either use your measuring cup or because I'm so close to the sink, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill them up.
You're close to the sink, you don't need
Fill it almost to the top, but not all the way.
Fill all the way up?
You guys, I'm questions, not me.
Oh, wait,
Do we fill our test tubes all the way out?
I filled mine up to the ring. So there's a little space at the top. Then you can put them in your rack.
JO5. Fill them up to this point right there. So JL5.
Wait, what do we have to do?
So I filled mine with water, and I just filled it right around the rim. Just a little space in the top.
For the empty ones?
And yeah, and don't put the lids on yet.
Yeah. Just the empty.
How do you put these caps on? It's so confusing.
Do not put the lids on. I'm going to flip the camera so you can see how I have mine set up. I have 3 that have lids, 3 that do not have lids. The 3 that have lids have oil in them. The 3 that do not have lids are just water.
They don't need. She says not to have them. Yes.
No lid type.
No lid on any of the test tubes.
Just the oil. 3 lids on the oil. No lids on the water.
Do we put water in the empty ones?
Yeah, you're going to put water in your 3 empty ones. All right, my friends.
Let's go get water.
Yeah, you'll need water, Brian. Hey, if you have your 6 set up in your rack, you'll see that I have 3 that have lids, and those have oil. 3 that are empty, they have water. Or not empty, 3 that have no lids, and those are water. Then you're going to get your little fizzy tabs, and you should notice that there's different colors. You should have red, yellow, and blue. Now, the red looks kind of purple. It doesn't exactly look blue. Here, I'll show it to the camera. You should have 3 different colors.
Me, I do.
And we're going to drop 1 of those into each of the watered tubes. So I'm going to drop 1 in that tube, 1 in that tube, and 1 in that tube. And then watch to see what happens.
Whoa. Whoa.
Now, these are not your typical food color tablets. Do you see something happening when you dropped them in?
They're fizzing.
They're fizzing.
Exactly. They're reacting with the water. So we're gonna let it continue until there's no more fizziness. Now, these tabs, these were made by a teacher.
Hey, I also have this. What are we supposed to do with this?
Nothing yet. This is Alka-Seltzer. That's for a later experiment, okay? But these actually have sodium bicarbonate in them, which is baking soda, okay? And we know that baking soda and vinegar react. Well, these are made so that it's compacted into this powder tab, and it's going to react with water instead. So it's kind of a little tight there's some food dye inside there. And you'll notice that not all the colors look exactly like red. It's a little bit more a magenta color instead of a red. If you ended up having, I see, Kayla, you've got 2 reds. So you can just dump 1 of your reds out.
Yeah, I accidentally put it red in.
No, you have extra, so don't worry. So you can just dump that out, and then you can fill it up with water again, and then put a yellow one in.
Okay. What?
And mine are still fizzing. Is yours still fizzing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine still doesn't. Even the first one I put in.
Oh, how?
You can give it a little bit of a shake. I don't want to spill it too much.
Oh, can I give it a little shake?
But what it's releasing is it's releasing a gas, carbon dioxide. So if we put our cap on there while it's releasing that gas, it's going to build up pressure inside. So that's why we want to make sure that we're not getting any more fizzing before we put the lid on. So mine is just about done.
Basically, you have to wait till the pellets are completely good. Mine is not fizzing
Oh,
anymore.
yeah, yours
but-
isn't.
And it's not anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap on tight.
Oh, then you can put on the cap.
No, don't put it.
When it's no longer fizzing, go ahead.
Help.
Say it again, Brian.
I still have my empty water.
Water in them.
Yeah,
Hey, do you have your fizzy tabs?
yeah.
So pull out a yellow, blue, and red one. The red one's gonna look a little purple. And put one tab into each. Now, I already spilled mine, so I'm just, like a good scientist, gonna clean that up. So it's out of my way. All right, gentlemen, if your fizzing has stopped, go ahead and put the caps on. And we're gonna try some color mixing. So I'm gonna switch my camera. Whoops. And Brian, you're gonna let yours fizz. And then once those colors have changed and it stops fizzing, then you're gonna put the caps on yours.
Miss Martin, how do you put the cap on?
You just have to really twist it down, all the way down.
I have a question. Like a little bit of my fizzy tabs are still there, but it's not fizzing.
Okay, since there's a little bit of dye in the bottom, when you pick it up, you're gonna end up mixing that. Let's do a little bit of color mixing. Did you get them on, Hattie?
Yep.
Super. So see, I even have a little particles. My yellow one's got a little particles in the bottom, and that's okay. Just gonna mix that up a little bit and give it a shake. So what I want you guys to do is we are going to do some color mixing. So I want you to hold up your yellow tube, and then I want you to put the blue one in front. And what color do you see?
Green.
You can hold it up to the light and you'll get a really good picture of it when you hold it up to a window. Really pretty, and you're right, you get the color. I see a lot of people doing this, it's really cool.
Well, I got turquoise.
So now I want you to cross the red and the, remember it's not exactly red, but you'll still get the same effect. So go ahead and cross the red and the blue. And what do we get?
Purple.
Purple.
Getting purple. And so what color will you get if you do red, yellow?
Orange.
Yes. Good job. Let me get some orange. Not a real strong orange, but it's this is color mixing. This is something you guys have done since kindergarten, but it's a little bit different because you're actually able to just crisscross those tubes. And so this is something that you could even change how much is in each tube, and you'd be able to switch out and make different shades of color. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip the cameras really quick.
Green color for me.
And we're gonna try something else.
Mixing yellow and red, it just makes more red.
Here I have them. I'm gonna pull out my blue one. Can you pull out your blue one?
Blue,
I'm gonna put the other one back in there. And I'm gonna open my blue one. And put it back in my tube. So now my blue one does not have a lid. The only one that does not have a lid.
Your hands are slippery.
And I'm gonna go back to my fizzy tabs. And I wanna pull out a yellow. So based on what I just did, if I drop this yellow one into this blue, what am I gonna get?
Green.
So try it. Drop it in. You'll see it's gonna fizz.
Wait a second. That's good. Wait, my changing the green. It's changing to the
How's you doing, Brian?
Turning green.
It a second. The blue, if it looks like a blue, then the yellow. It looks turquoise, it looks like the yellow.
So we're dropping a yellow one into
the blue. It's
Yellow into the blue. And then while that's fizzing, go ahead and open up your red one. And this time, drop in a blue.
dropping a blue, so okay. It's dripping.
Up your yellow. And what should we drop in that one?
a red.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll have completely different colors. What are these colors called? The first ones were called primary colors. What are these called?
Inner color.
What are they?
Secondary colors. Secondary.
These are your secondary colors. Something you guys do.
Red. Actually, that equals orange.
Do we have a yellow and red?
So, yeah, a red and a yellow. So something you guys can do outside of this experiment. So when we're done here, okay, something that you can do is you can go back to those primary colors you had. And then you want to get like a color mixing tray or maybe some small cups. And you're going to come up with all the different shades of orange. Now, how do I do that? Well, if you put just a little bit of red and a lot of yellow, you're going to get a different orange than if you put a lot of orange or yellow and a little bit of red. And so you can do some color mixing experiments and see how many different colors can you get. Nice. You all can unmute.
What color is supposed to put in yellow? Red.
Yeah, I'm putting a red in there. So now I should have 3 secondary colors. I have orange. I have, mine looks black unless it's at the light. And if it's at the light, it looks purple.
It looks like a really dark purple.
It's a very dark purple. You guys can do that
It's
color
pretty.
later.
It's pretty when you hold it up to the light.
Thank you so much. That was really cool.
What are we gonna do with our oil?
Share that. We're going to get to that next. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lids on these because they're no longer fizzing. So I'm going to put the lids on them.
Mine are still fizzing.
And then I don't want to worry about these 3 anymore. So I'm going to take them out of my rack and I'm just going to set them on their lids.
Yeah.
So that later, maybe this afternoon, I can play with them. I can experiment with them. So I just have 3 with a clearish liquid. Now, it's not dangerous.
You know that was the problem.
Oil that you have in your tube. It's just oil.
Molly,
And you will need water in your measuring cup.
Need some more water?
You're going to need some more water.
I can't hear. Moody.
Alrighty, my friends. So now what we're going to do, everybody should have their 3 and you should have some water. I'm going to go ahead and fill this with some water. You're going to go ahead and pull the lids off, but leave them in the rack. I'm going to open mine and put them back in the rack. Now that you have more room, you could spread them out in your rack. And there should be a little room for you to add water. So don't go all the way to the very tippy top, but go ahead and put a little bit of water to fill it up and watch what happens to the water. And I'd like everyone to unmute themselves.
You add the water to the colored ones, right?
Look at that.
The colored ones are gone. We're not using the colored ones. We're only going to use
Oh.
the ones.
Oh, the
And
oil.
what happened when you poured water into the oil?
It's like the water's like sinking down.
Exactly. It sunk to the bottom. And it actually looks really cool. I'm going to get close. You can see these layers. And there's
Like bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Water.
That's water.
Oh no, oil.
bubbles in there.
Yeah, we see bubble.
Yeah. So
Cool.
go ahead and fill it up, but don't leave a little space at the top so that they don't overflow. That's okay. There.
How many balls are you supposed to?
Bubbles.
We're only using 3 tubes.
Thanks, Dad.
It's the 3 tubes that have oil.
We put water in all of them.
Yes, put water in all 3 of them.
Talking to.
You can see I have bubbles at the bottom of each of mine.
He said
Now
that
these
he doesn't
bubbles are
have
not air bubbles. What are these bubbles?
the same after it dries. He's gonna put the other one on top. He said it should be okay.
These bubbles filled with, not air. What are they filled with?
Open these.
No,
Is that oil?
we already did all of the stuff.
Okay.
How you doing, Brian?
Still prepping mine.
Okay. I think everybody's still prepping. Some of those lids can get difficult once we've got them screwed on.
So wait, we're supposed to put the lids back on them?
Nope, don't put the lids on.
That's very funny.
Yes.
So each tube should now have these bubbles at the bottom.
Yep.
But it's not air bubbles. What's inside?
Water.
Yeah. Water is heavier than oil, and that's the reason it sunk to the bottom. Density. Here, I'll explain to you another experiment that you can do on your own. Talking about that same density. So, when everybody has theirs ready, can you give me a thumbs up so I know that we're ready to move on? And when I say ready, I just mean 3 oil-filled tubes with water in them.
Yep.
Hey, I see Brandon and Brian are ready. Evan and Tyler are ready. Mia's ready. Kayla and Chloe, Addison, Claire. How you doing, Brian?
Who's Addison?
I'm sorry.
My tube.
Sorry, Abby. I was thinking of one of my relatives. All right. So now go ahead and get your fizzy tabs again. And I want you to find a red one. Remember, it looks a little like purple. I have my purple tab, my red tab, and you're going to drop it into one of your tubes and watch to see what happens.
It's what?
It only fizzes in the water.
Keep watching.
Oh man,
Bubbles are coming up.
Fizzing stops once it hits the water. It looks like a volcano.
Uh, are you starting to see bubbles?
Yes, the red
Yeah.
stuff.
And what?
Yeah, it does look like a volcano.
I learned about this when I went to a science camp.
What color are my bubbles?
Red.
Yeah, exactly.
On top, you can see it.
And so just like when we added the color to here, it's actually reacting with the water, but then there's also air in the sodium bicarbonate. And air is lighter and wants to go up. So you see it's rising. It's giving us that lava look. Mia, what would you like to share?
When I was doing this at the science camp, we were doing something with circulation.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of different applications to this.
That one I know why it's full.
Right. So if you've ever heard of a lava lamp, you just created a lava lamp.
Dad, we created a lava lamp.
Honey, come here. A big lava lamp.
I'm going to
Honey,
explain.
come here, hurry.
I'm going to explain the science behind this. So we have oil and water do not mix. So two liquids are immiscible, which means that the molecules will not mix together. And you notice that the oil floated on top of the water. And that's because the water molecules are denser. They're more tightly packed together than the molecules of oil. Fizzers, those little fizzers that you had, they have 3 ingredients: sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, citric acid, which is the sour coating that is on some candies, like if you've ever had Sour Patch Kids or Sour Skittles, and then it has a coloring agent, which is the dye that's in there. Fizzer tablets only react when they hit the water. So if I just dropped it into the oil, it wouldn't have done anything. Bubbles attach themselves to the droplets of colored water and they carry them to the surface of the oil. And gas bubbles float at the top because they're less dense than the oil, so they're lighter. And when they pop at the surface, the colored water blob sinks back to the bottom of the test tube for another ride up to the top of the surface. This finally stops when all of the chemicals that are in the color fizzers are used up. So let's keep having fun with that. And I want you to go ahead and choose 2 different colors, like blue and yellow, for example. And I want you to put them both in the same tube. So we have 2 tubes that we haven't touched, right? So I'm going to I chose a blue and a yellow, and I'm going to put 2 tabs into one of my test tubes. Drop them in one after the other. I might have done it close. You can drop one.
I'm putting red and blue in.
Take a video.
Here you go, red and blue. Why, look, there's so much fizzy bubbles popping up. Can you choose something else than blue and yellow?
2 colors that you want to use. And you each have 2 bags of fizzy tabs so that you'll be able to do this again later.
Dad, look at
Question, why is all of the green dye bubbles so big and going up so fast? And when they pop,
Honey,
It's
I made
just
another lava lamp.
go back down.
Weird, huh?
It's a good question. Does it seem like they're way more active?
There's an opportunity for a better picture.
If you think that it seems more active, you are correct, but can someone tell me why? Why is it more active? Mia, what do you think?
because there's more than one fizzy tab.
Exactly. So I've added more energy, right? There's more sodium bicarbonate. There's more citric acid. So there's more things to react. And then for the last lava tube, choose whatever you like. You can do a single color. You can make your own color. You can put all 3 together and see what happens. You choose and go ahead and make a 3rd lava lamp. So I think I'm going to skip with blue. It's my favorite color.
Red on red. Just
No, don't.
It was only supposed to be.
You're not listening.
The bubbling blobs will change depending on the color of the tablets you drop in. So for instance, I dropped a blue one in right here, and that blue one is gonna make blue blobs. But now that it's fizzing, I'm gonna drop in a red tablet. So I didn't immediately put them in together. I'm gonna put them in separated a little bit. So here I'm gonna drop my red one in now. And I wanna see if I'm gonna get blue and different colors. I can see my blue is really changing color now. And I used a red tab, so I'm no longer getting blue. It's changing from blue to dark blue. Now I've got light blue and I've got
I
dark.
only have yellow tabs left.
You should have a second bag in there, Addie. So you should have 2 bags.
I do.
And now I have light blue, dark blue, and purple all in one lava tube just because I spaced them out a little bit. So I could even throw in a third one if I wanted to.
I threw in a third one, and this happened. God.
I want a third one. He did 1, 2, 3. Who did 2, 2, 2?
How's it going for you, Brian? Are you getting some lava lamp going? What about you, Mia? What color did you guys choose? Evan, is that black?
Yeah, because I chose all 3 of them. And
Nice, exactly. So the presence of all colors.
Yep.
How's yours going, Mia?
Good.
All right, we are not done yet. I'm kind of bummed that my red has stopped fizzing. I wanted to start fizzing again. If you find your Alka-Seltzer, Alka-Seltzer is made from the same ingredients. It has sodium carbonate, which is baking soda, and citric acid. And when those mix, they're going to release that same carbon dioxide. So I'm going to open up my Alka-Seltzer and just take out 1 tab. And I'm going to break this tab into smaller pieces.
Just tear it. Maybe just give the other tab to your brother. There.
Yes, if you're a sibling pair, you just have to open 1 package. And then I want to reactivate my red, so I'm going to drop 1 of those pieces into my red. And there we go again. Now I've reactivated.
It makes noise.
It does. Why do you think that noise is happening?
Oh my.
Do you remember what it's releasing?
Look at.
Smoking.
So do you remember what that is releasing? What's causing it to rise? Remember? Uh-oh, Claire's doesn't want to sync. So it's a gas, and the gas that's coming up, it's okay if it spills over. If you put a lot in there, it's gonna have a lot of gas. And so that gas that's releasing is what you're hearing. As those bubbles come to the top, that's popping. And so you hear that sound. I'm gonna go ahead and drop 1 into my green. There you go. Claire, you might have to drop another piece into that red to get it going again.
Yeah, I see.
And
So you can put
And-
one
and
in.
Brittany and Brian figured out the bigger the piece,
one in here.
the bigger the reaction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So messes happen, no big deal. We can always clean it up.
I'm gonna split this
the
into
toxic
2 different
volcano.
ones, or should I just keep it one?
Oh, mom. Ooh.
That's a lot. It may overflow.
So I'm going to show you guys something that you can do at home. Okay, while you guys are watching that, I want you to listen here. I have a jar, and there's 2 different ways you can make a bigger lava lamp. You can just use any jar you have. You can use a plastic cup if you have a plastic cup, you do want it to be clear so that you can see it. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and use oil. You can use any oil that you have. And I'm going to pour some oil into here. And then I want to add some vinegar. This is just vinegar that I bought.
Oh my gosh.
Vinegar. Oh, you know what? I don't think I want to do vinegar yet. Nope, I don't want to do that yet.
This is going to cause.
I want to do, let me think for a second. I'm going to pour water into it.
I want to black in the usual. One more.
So you can see that this is separated.
Oh, no,
And
no,
I've got a lot of oil and water in there.
Oh, yeah, we'll clean it up after.
Okay, I'm gonna use this one on my purple.
And then I'm going to add, you can either do food color if you have food color, or you can drop in your little fizzy tabs.
Oh my.
Bigger lava lamp. I'm going to drop in the red. I'm going to see if I can get all three colors going.
Oh, it's done.
Mine's kind
It's all calming down.
You can do the fizzy tabs, or you can do food color and use your alka seltzer. I'm going to go ahead and grab some alka seltzer there to get it going too.
It went into that thing's cap. So then just that is that one's cap and that's that. Switch the caps.
So that's one way to make a really big lava lamp. Another way is to take a jar, and this time I'm going to put vinegar in the bottom. Then I'm going to
Get
oil.
I made a lava lamp.
Ooh, nice glasses. Did that come with the kids or is it yours?
Then I'm going to add, does anybody know how to make a volcano?
It doesn't matter. It's oil.
And what?
It's apple seltzer.
Oh.
Vinegar and
Nani,
baking soda.
you need to put in a lot more oil.
Oh.
So with this, you can do food color and you can just drop in baking soda. So let me grab my baking soda.
Look at this one. So active.
I'm just going to put in a scoop.
Yeah. So now there's Alka-Seltzer.
The same reaction is happening. Big reaction.
Oil all the way up to some water.
Look at the top,
Only a little bit.
filling up.
Hey, those sound good.
Those are just.
The baking soda and vinegar, and I just added in some color.
So it's just oil, water, and
You
alcohol.
need that much oil. And some of the fizzy.
Ah.
There's just different ways that you can make your larger lava lamps. And then you can even turn the lights out and add a flashlight at the bottom. And you'll really get it going.
I heard this question, explaining how we can just do that.
Ways to do this.
Maybe that could be something to do for your session.
You can see this was really, I dropped in some alka seltzer into this.
have these.
Oh, you have.
Save those, yeah. We only gonna have 3 students. That'd be good. You want me to get?
Yeah.
That was cool.
It is. You can play around with things quite a
I'm
bit.
making a humongous bubble on top.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna push this aside. This is stuff you guys can do after we have class if you have parent permission. So make sure that you're not just going into the kitchen and getting all the vinegar and the baking soda oil. Make sure you get permission from your parent. But I do have one last challenge to show you. So we said that the oil and the water do not mix. Who can remember why the oil and the water do not mix? Remember, why do the oil and the water not mix? Do you remember? Hmm.
Something. I think it's like the oil particles are not are more far away from each other, but the water particles are closer.
Exactly. We call it density. Can you guys say density?
Dense.
Exactly. So the water molecules are denser. They're more closely packed together. And because they're denser, then they sink. They are heavier than our oil. And so you can actually create a density tower. And how we're going to do that is I'm actually going to take one of my test tubes and I'm going to dump out all but just a little bit of water. I'm going to leave some of that water in there. Oh, that's not enough. That's okay. I'll just give it some of the other. I want just a little bit of water in the bottom. And then oil. And then the challenge for you guys, with permission from your parents, is to find other liquids. You see how that's separated? We're going to find other liquids that we have in our house, and we're going to add other liquids. So here I have hand sanitizer. And I'm going to pour a little bit of hand sanitizer in there. And look, now I have how many layers?
3.
Yeah, I have 3 different layers. So the hand sanitizer went higher than the oil, which must mean that this hand sanitizer has a lot of alcohol in it, and that has even less dense molecules. So it's lighter, okay? And I think I'm gonna use, let me take, ooh, I have some maple syrup. I'm gonna add some maple syrup. So get permission from your parents before you do this. But you can experiment with all these different liquids to see what's heavier and what's lighter. So before I do this one, make a prediction. Do you think that the maple syrup is what you put on your pancakes? Is it gonna be heavier or lighter?
Heavier.
A lot of people think heavier. So if it's heavier, that means it's gonna go all the way to the bottom, right? So let's see. Ooh, you were right. Now the maple syrup is at the bottom, and then I have water, and then I have oil, and then I have the rubbing or the hand sanitizer. So you got to look in your kitchens to see what other liquids could you possibly add. Let me think for a second. And it's always fun to get colored liquids because then you're going to get that rainbow effect. So let me think for a second. Do you guys have an idea of what else I can add? It might be in my kitchen. Maybe it's in your kitchen.
Lemon juice.
Lemon juice. I'm going to add milk. There I have some milk. Do you think it's going to be heavier or lighter? Heavier or lighter? What do you think?
Lighter.
Lighter. Some people are saying lighter. Do you know what is in milk?
What?
Fat. Fat is in milk. And that's the same as what we make our butter from, right? So our butter is the fat parts. And so let's see what happens to my milk. Now, of course, you have your goggles on when you're doing this. You have permission from your parents when you're doing this. Ooh, look at that. It got all sludgy.
Ew.
You might have to set it aside and let it separate on its own. It might take a little bit. You know what it looks like it did? I see something at the bottom. What's at the bottom?
Maple syrup.
Yeah, exactly. There's the maple syrup is still at the bottom. And then I see there's oil here And I see that I have a layer here, which I think is my rubbing alcohol or my hand sanitizer, but it looks like my milk and my water mixed together. And that's why it's yucky gray now. So if my milk and my water mix together, what might that tell me?
That milk and water are the same.
Exactly. Fantastic. So you guys should look in your kitchens with permission from your parents and see if you can make a 7-layer density tower. So that means you're gonna have 7 different things that don't mix well together so that you can get 7 different layers. I've even seen people who have done 21 layers. Something else that I just thought about is I can use Dawn soap. You guys have Dawn soap? All right. And I like it because what color is it?
Blue.
Put the Dawn soap in there and see what happens. It's stinking. Boy, that milk really muddied everything up. But I'm getting a layer of soap right here. So I have maple syrup, soap, my milk and water, oil, and hand sanitizer.
So what we're learning is hand sanitizer is really light.
It is really light. You're right. So you guys do this at home. Remember that when you're done, all good scientists do what?
Sure.
When
Clean
you're
up.
done. Yeah, so be responsible. Make sure that you clean up, and that way moms and dads will know that they can trust you to do this science stuff, okay? All right, my friends.
Sure.
And so tomorrow,
Sure.
we are going to do, let's see, what am I doing tomorrow?
Where'd you even get it then?
Tomorrow we are doing It's Electric. So we're going to be working with electricity. So I have a question for you, so hang on just a sec. Tonight, okay, I don't want you to open everything up and look at it. I want you guys to be surprised tomorrow. So ask your parents to look in the bag. I know Brendan and Brandon, your mom's already looked, or Brendan and Brian, your mom's already looked, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you end up having 2 sets of probes, if you could email me. Now, I'm not talking about siblings, but if one person in their kit has 2 sets of probes, if you can contact me, because I have created something that I might be able to use, but it would be super helpful if I had the same that you guys did. And I think I put 2 in one of the kits. So if you happen to have 2 in one kit, if you can send me an email and then I'll come get it. So, all right, my friends, did you guys have fun today?
Yeah.
All right, I want you guys to go show your parents what you learned with not only color mixing, but you also learned about density and learning about how that water and oil, they don't mix because they're different densities, but then you can create a lava lamp as a result. It's a gas that is being released when it reacts with the water, and that's how you're getting that bubbling action. So experiment. When you're all done with that, it'd be really super great if you guys emptied up your test tubes. You can wash them in the dishwasher, or you can wash them by hand just using some soap and water. The oil does need the soap to break it down, so don't just rinse it out. You want to put some soap in there and get it clean. So, all right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't go yet.
Bye.
I have something to show you. I have something to show you.
Show me.
What is this? It's this. I
Very
made
cool.
it at another science camp, basically. Yeah.
Nice. See, you made a density layer tower.
Evan
Good.
made one too, but he shook it up. Yeah.
That's okay. Those are great.
I shake mine up every morning. Yeah,
Well,
because then the colors are in the process of mixing and separating. And this is how
I
mine
love it.
looks when it's shooked up. Before I shake,
That's great. Are you still there? Uh-oh, you guys froze. All right, bye-bye.